It was just another long-haul drive for Sarah King. Or so it seemed. To most people, she was just another trucker, navigating her rig across the highways. But there was more to her than the calloused hands and weathered cap suggested. A past she'd left behind. A set of skills she prayed she'd never need again. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Sarah hummed to her favorite tune, her sharp eyes scanning the road. Little did she know, a storm was brewing, a storm she would have to face head-on. The first sign of trouble appeared in her rearview mirror, a gang of bikers, roaring engines, and flashing lights. They surrounded her truck, laughing and taunting, their voices muffled by the hum of her engine. "Hey, lady! Out of the way," one shouted, slapping the side of her rig. Sarah ignored them, her hands steady on the wheel. But the taunts escalated. They wanted her to pull over, to intimidate her into submission. What they didn't know. Sarah had been through far worse. She played it cool, her demeanor calm as the bikers grew bolder. One of them swerved dangerously close, trying to force her off the road. Sarah's sharp mind began to assess the situation. She counted the bikes. Noticed their formation. The way their leader barked orders. It was second nature, observing threats, calculating risks. Her pulse quickened, not from fear, but from a familiar focus. She reached for her phone, not to call for help but to set her plan in motion. "Not today," she muttered, her lips curling into a faint smile. When the bikers forced her to a stop, they thought they had her cornered. Sarah stepped out of the cab, her movements calm and measured. "What's the matter?" "Scared," one biker sneered. Sarah didn't reply. Instead, she reached for something in the cab. The bikers froze when they saw her pull out a case. In a few fluid movements, she assembled a sniper rifle, her hands steady and practiced. "Let me tell you something," she said, her voice even but laced with authority. "I've hit targets a mile away under fire. You're not even a challenge." The bikers panicked, their cocky demeanor replaced with fear. One by one, they backed off, realizing they'd messed with the wrong person. "You got 5 seconds to leave," Sarah said, locking eyes with their leader. "After that, I'm calling the cops. And trust me, I've got the footage to prove what you've done." Engines roared as the gang sped off, disappearing into the night. Sarah stood tall, watching them go, the rifle resting easily in her hands. Sarah packed up her rifle and climbed back into her cab. The road stretched ahead, quiet and peaceful once more. "Some people don't learn until they're staring down the barrel of a gun," she muttered, shaking her head. "But the world keeps moving. So will I." And with that, Sarah drove on, the quiet hero of a story no one would ever forget.